SexyHackers.com.
Warning! Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures you may have when a space vampire invades the solar system. From time to time, as you read along, you will be asked to make decisions and choices. Your choices may lead to success or disaster. The adventures you have will be the result of your own choices. After you make a choice, follow the instructions to see what happens to you next. Caution! The space vampire has extraordinary powers and terrifying appetite. Good luck.
SexyHackers.com.
Life is like a story with many paths to choose. I gotta get some good friends to help me make it through. So here's the plan. Just take my hand, the adventure's just begun. And all we have to do is turn to page fun.
And welcome to Turn to Page Fun, the only podcast where I, your host, Nick Fear, fuck up the beginning and then read through a bunch of choose your own adventure and game books and the like.
It's early on a Sunday. So.
It's early on a Sunday. A bunch of game books and the like with a panel of my very, very funny friends, and we comment them and react to these books. With me today, over on my right, is a comedian and a writer and a blogger and a knower of things comic books, Mr. Ron Swanson.
That's me.
Hi, Ron. How's your January been?
It's all right. It's a little chilly. You know, it's a new year.
Yep. How are your resolutions? Did you make any?
No.
Yeah, that's a bad choice.
I make the same resolution every year, and I never do it. And that's to memorize the lyrics of REM's End of the World as We Know It.
How far have you gotten on that?
Bits and pieces.
All right.
I always know the Leonard Burnside part.
Everybody knows.
Yep.
Leonard Burnside.
How does it start though?
That's great. It starts with an earthquake.
Okay.
Birds, snakes, and airplanes. Lenny Bruce is not afraid.
All right.
Eye of the hurricane. Listen to the world turn.
Which is
The new year.
started.
That's about it.
That's all we know. Awesome.
Good job. Good
Wow.
job.
Great job. Well, maybe this year will be the year.
And
Maybe.
you'll do it, and then you'll feel fine.
I will.
Or maybe we hope that you never learn it, because if you ever were to learn it, you would bring about the end of the world.
Or maybe I just disappear. Like I just finally do it, and I just turn to a ball of energy and reach the next level of humanity.
There's a bunch of demons just watching you.
Yes,
You'll get it. He has spoken the words. The Ron Swanson has finally spoken the sacred words.
it was a prophecy.
You turn into the Stay Puft merch.
Oh, wow.
This is the dumbest prophecy ever.
All right. Over on my left, far left, I have writer, musician, improviser, and very, very funny man and good friend, Mr. Brian Bear.
No, that's me. I was thinking you jumped. Okay, yeah, that's me.
I'm
That's
jumping
me.
around.
Jump around. Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good.
What was
I'm
your
good.
New Year's resolution?
Let's pretend I made one.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. Have a good year. It's January. It's my mom's birthday this month. Her 70th birthday.
Wow.
So I don't know if I should. Oh well. Yeah, it's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So happy birthday,
70
Mom.
years young.
Yeah. All right.
Well, happy birthday, Brian's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, over on my immediate left, I have a mad scientist, child tutor, comedian, writer, and very, very, very funny actress, Miss Stacy Pawloski.
Thanks for having me back. Nick.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I made a New Year's resolution to no longer be the meanest person that you know.
But then who's going to be the meanest person I know?
Just kidding.
Oh, that was me.
I know.
Mean. There can be only one.
Yeah, if you find another really mean person, do you have to like duel to the death and chop off their heads and then get their meanness through a
No, I
quickening?
just suck their energy out through my vampire skills.
Yeah, like the children you tutor.
Yeah, I don't have to only suck the energy of children. I
Right.
could use it for anyone.
Yeah.
I prefer children.
Their essence tastes the great, the best.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Young
like
and
human blood
better.
to space vampires.
Yep, delish.
Space vampires. Well, I want to learn more about these space vampires.
Space vampires.
I really
Would you
like
like to
this
know
book.
more?
I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, we are reading Space Vampire, written by Edward Packard. In this book, you play a fresh out of the academy elite agent of the Space Force, codenamed Osprey.
That's
right.
It's still big.
And you have been given your first missions have revolved around the existence of goddamn space vampires.
Yep.
And they're all up in the solar system, and they're causing.
Even when we tried to just avoid them, they were there.
They're still there.
So there's at least a few of them, I would think.
Yeah, and they're causing all kinds of havoc and trouble in the solar system, being space vampires that they are.
They're spoken of like they're a secret too, but it seems like they're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you get to, you ask the computer, there's a breadth of knowledge on how to destroy them.
As soon as you tell anyone or you're told about it, everyone's just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a thing. Let's go do it. Just taking it real well.
Even though you're a dean of students, Dean Neff, I think,
Yeah.
and the very first episode was like, shh,
Hey, you want to know a secret? You ever heard of a space vampire?
when you're like, what?
Is that type of drug?
They're real. Space vampires are real. So you can either go fight a space vampire.
Or you can just go with this boring
Barnard
scout mission.
Star.
And so we chose to go on that boring scout mission.
Yep.
Yep.
To Barnard.
And we were given a choice on this boring scout mission to Barnard Star because we were on the night shift watch
Yep.
and we were getting really bored. So we were given the choice of whether to just take a nap, just take a nap, or stay completely alert. And we're going to go ahead and choose to stay completely alert on this non-vampire related mission.
Yeah.
Not a single vampire could possibly show up.
Barnard's like, watch out for my star. It's important to me.
Hey, y'all, could you just go around my star? Thanks.
That's Barnard. The hours go by. You keep looking up at the chronometer.
Clock.
Yeah.
It's
It's a clock.
Space clock.
Space clock.
I am Kronos, master of time.
Ho hum.
We really said that out loud?
It says in the book. Oh, boy.
Boy.
You never dreamed Space Force duty would be so boring.
Gosh.
A red light flashes on the internal security board. Warning, alien intrusion. You sound the alarm. In a minute, the crew members come running into the room, all except the navigator, Stan Linden.
Stan.
Quick, check his bunk room.
The captain shouts. You and Nat Cressetti, the ship's engineer, run to Stan's bunk. You gasp at the sight of his crumpled form. His shriveled body bears 2 puncture wounds in the neck, each of them marked by a few last drops of blood.
Oh, it's a space Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, isn't it?
Yep. It's a space invisible man.
Space Viper.
No doubt about it. The space vampire is on board. You rush to the control room, and there he is.
Nope.
Black-haired, with bone-white skin. His hands on the captain's shoulders. His teeth sink into the captain's throat.
Oh.
As he crumples on deck, the captain punches something into the computer. You and Nat are thrown violently across the control room and knocked cold as his ship abruptly changes course.
We're unconscious most of the story in every adventure.
You've been making really terrible decisions across the course of the book because you have had head trauma.
Yes.
A lot. Like
How many
you're
concussions have we
constantly
suffered?
getting concussed.
I'm surprised we could speak.
Well, that's why. Ho hum.
Yeah.
Me think of better words someday. Wait, I've got an idea. Pass out.
When you come to, bruised and aching, You see the vampire drinking the last drops of blood from Nat's body.
Oh,
So no one put up a fight?
In a moment, the vampire starts towards you, his bared teeth still dripping blood. You start to get up, though you know you have no chance.
Also, you just had a major head trauma.
Then, miraculously, the vampire stops in his tracks. Something on the display screen has caught his eye. He rushes to the master control panel and starts working frantically with the computer.
blood drive. I've got to get there.
Suddenly, you realize what the captain did just before he died. He started the self-destruct cycle.
Oh, there you go.
Only he knew the code. And there is no way you or the vampire can countermand it. You run out the door and race down the corridor. In a flash, you're inside the escape capsule. The vampire is rushing after you. Activate. Whoosh. Whoosh. You're in the silence of space. Accelerating. Looking back. You see the beluga turning rapidly, closing to you. It's funny. The damage doesn't look so bad from out here.
Spiral towards the desert planet of Tatooine.
Look, sir, droids.
Look, they're droids. Oh. But before that, there's a bunch of bullshit that we need to get past because that's so important to the story. I hate the new one. I hate every minute of it. Then a flash of light. The ship has been blown to bits along with the space vampire.
Yay.
You'll get a hero's welcome if you get rescued.
Ooh.
Unfortunately,
Oh.
it's 5 billion miles to Earth.
Nothing else out here?
The end.
Well, it's maybe there's
We can't
just
send
Barnard.
a distress signal from
Right.
our little escape hatch.
See what
escape
Barnard's
pod?
doing?
No, Barnard's just, hey, I was hoping all y'all might come down to my star.
See, you're busy, though. You blew up your dang ship.
If you go to my star, just feel free to peruse my general store. You know, like an old Westy general store. With
It's just a sign waving in the solar winds. Just,
Did the
I don't know what you guys are talking about. What's Barnard?
Yeah, I don't know.
the name of the system is
the guy
Barnard.
named
Star.
Barnard, and he runs a
it's just
general
something you're
store
making-
right next
I
to his
thought
star.
it was referencing
I have
something.
one question.
Okay,
though.
okay.
Did
fair enough.
the crew fight the vampire at all when they were all on the command?
Well,
Like,
they weren't trained, clearly.
Because they're just that captain gave up very quickly.
Yeah. Well, it's a vampire. It moves fast.
Come
And it's got powers.
There were
Powers, Ron.
Yeah, we haven't really seen
All right,
any of
well,
these powers.
when you kill a space vampire, you can come brag to us
all right.
and show that you had the right idea.
Yeah,
It does seem difficult to stop him.
I think it's just because nobody, do people feel bad for the space vampire? It's like, just do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or is everybody just that depressed?
Also,
This future doesn't sound that happy. So.
No, it doesn't.
were they all prepared for space vampires too? Does everyone know about the?
No, but I'm just amazed that everybody was on the command deck,
Yeah.
and there was just two of you went to go check on the one guy.
Right. Well,
you come
split up.
back,
You split up.
and everyone's decimated.
Yes.
And the captain was just like, activate self-destruct.
Well, what's a better way?
Yeah, I'm just thinking where would be a good place to go back.
I would like to go back to where we went on the mission, and we met Rick Flair Springfield, whatever his name is, and he gave us this shitty choice.
Oh, and run
we
away
chose
instead?
incorrectly. So let's choose the correct choice,
That's going to be wrong, too.
probably. But I
You
just wanna-
should have fought, you cowardly piece of shit.
Yeah, maybe we'll see if he's just really a two-faced.
Just an asshole.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he said, "Do you want to run away or do you want to fight?" And we said, "Fight."
We said
Right.
fight.
Yes.
So we're just kind of picking through this book right now. So another choice that we had a couple episodes ago was we were given the choice to go to Barnard Star or actually go on the mission to fight a space vampire.
On the Petya.
On the transport ship Petya. And so we've decided to follow and fight on the transport ship Petya, and we are now on the crew of one Captain Rick Field.
Attorney at law.
Rick Field, attorney at law, Dr. Cup. Rick Field, attorney at law, and we are being attacked out of nowhere by Canopian attack craft who have been planning attack for a millennia.
Yeah. Throughout all this, we're also at war with an alien species, apparently.
A Cold
Or
War, a very
Yeah.
long Cold War.
Although it
And the
seems
fact
like
that
it's-
was brought up early on, I kind of thought maybe they would show up more with our choices, but have not.
Have not. And so Rick Field gave us a choice to asked us basically what we would do in this hypothetical situation. And the first time we said, yeah, let's fight him. And it was like, I'm sorry, that's the wrong choice. And you fool. And because you were supposed to be elite, you make one wrong choice, you're out of the elite Space Force. And so then we got kicked out. So now we're going to try to do what we learned was the right choice.
Possibly. And running away.
Running away. And we're going to find out what happens if we run away from the attack of the Canopian attack craft on our mission to attack the
Space Vampire.
Space Vampire. After this quick word from our sponsor.
SexyHackers.com.
Today's episode of Turn to Page Fun is brought to you by Barnard Star and General Store. Hey there, folks. Barnard here. Just thought if you're in the neck of the woods of space, you could come on down to Barnard Star and General Store. The Star doesn't do much because it's just a big ball of flaming gas, but we got some good stuff here at the store. We got some air fresheners for your spacecraft there and some jerky. Don't ask what it's made of. And we got some cigarettes, too, because that's still cool in the future. It's all sorts of things you could need when you're 5 billion miles away from Earth. We got one space station here, so that's most of our customers. But if you're in town, come on down to Barnard's General Store and Star. And don't worry, I'm definitely not a vampire the whole time. Haha, plot twist. Barnard Star and General Store.
SexyHackers.com.
And we are back to Turn to Page Fun. We are currently reading Space Vampire, where you are Special Agent Codenamed Osprey. And your job is to get involved with this space vampire, whether you like it or not.
Get involved with them on a romantic level?
Possibly, yeah, sure. Why not?
We haven't tried
They are
that.
sexy.
We have not tried seducing the space vampire yet.
Right.
Which I hope is a choice.
If you seduce the space vampire.
Oh.
Should I take off this button too, Space Vampire?
What if I talk like this, Space Vampire?
Your voice, it's so soothing.
So soothing.
I want to get to know you better.
I feel more comfortable and safe when you speak.
Hold me.
Hold me like you did on Naboo.
All Star Wars.
That always goes back to Star Wars.
We are in space.
Also, we're just a bunch of nerds who just...
All right, let's get on this damn
Osprey's a
mission.
nerd.
We've made the right choice.
So we were on a mission with the rest of the elite Space Force people who are dicks, and
Also, once again, slightly racist.
yes, very xenophobic. We are being attacked. Our captain Rick Field has asked us what we would do in the situation, and we say run away because we have better things to do.
We're on a mission. We can't
Yeah.
we can't deviate.
Wise decision, Osprey. We have more important mission, the captain says. Hyperstations. You move to the braces. Almost instantly, you black out.
It's like those videos of the people on roller coasters.
I'm sorry. I've been looking at your medical chart. Turns out
And apparently, you have a very weak G-force.
yes, you've got this aneurysm just waiting to go
You
off.
might
in
have
your
some
head.
kind of condition.
Almost instantly, you black out as the X2 shifts into hyper mode. When you come to, you're cruising at negative acceleration, closing in on the Petya.
So we're going backwards?
You're slowing down.
You're slowing down.
Just
Well, actually, negative. Yeah, you're slowing down.
right.
As you approach the hapless transport, the captain assembles the crew in the control room. He flicks a switch on a small control panel on the side of the conference table. The room darkens, and on the 4-foot square screen, an image of a Class C space transport appears. Then you hear the recently recorded message.
This is the Petya, now en route to Earth from Base 10. Passengers and crew have been dying, always at night. Their shriveled bodies are found in the morning, emptied of blood.
There's no night.
Help!
There is no day.
There's no day and night in space. God damn it.
The image disappears from the screen, and the captain flicks on the light.
Help, we've done nothing, and we're all out of ideas. Maybe we should just fire a laser burst at the Petya,
Jack suggests. And blow up the few surviving passengers?
Yeah.
Field returns, his eyebrows raised. Surely someone has a better idea than that. He looks directly at you.
Oh, is this a test?
Jeez.
If you suggest boarding the Petya while it's still in space, turn to page 37. If you suggest waiting until Petya lands on Earth, turn to page 16.
That last one's a bad idea.
Yes, a
That's a
very
bad
bad idea.
idea.
Let's just board the Petya.
Also, if that guy gave the suggestion of blowing up the ship and that was the wrong answer, he's off the mission, right?
Yeah, he's
Don't they
done.
just
Kick his ass
We have
out.
to turn around and take it back to Delta Base.
Well, that's a great idea, but we have to now turn all the way around and take Jack back to Delta Base because he made a shitty decision.
do you guys ever consider that when you make decisions, you fools?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the ship before.
Are we sure that that's the right decision?
I think we have to.
Because, yeah,
Well, if it goes to Earth, everyone's going to become.
very, very
Yeah,
bad
exactly.
idea. You
Yeah.
don't want the vampire there. Although he's already been there? Is he coming back from...
Well, they're easier to
Is it a
kill
new
on
vampire?
Earth.
Oh, that's true. Get him out in the sunshine of Earth.
It is easier to kill a vampire on Earth.
We
So
have...
what's the right decision? Because if we make the wrong one, we're going to be yeeted out into space with Jack.
Yeah, we're just going to have to turn back to Delta Base.
Oh, I didn't think about the Earth weaknesses, though. But it does seem like just a really good way for the vampire.
We're going to
You just
fail.
go with
We're
our
gonna
first
fail.
instinct.
Go on the Petya.
All right, we're
All
going
right.
It's
to
only
go.
200
All right.
feet long.
We're going to go on the Petya.
I'm marking this as one I want to go back to. Because we get to Earth and Van Helsing shows up and it's all good.
I've been waiting for you guys.
I've been waiting for you guys ever since I heard about the space vampires. I thought there were standing orders to lure all space vampires to Earth where they can be easily dealt with.
And Blade shows up too.
And Buffy.
Just an army of vampire
We're
hunters.
good at killing vampires on Earth.
Yeah, we're really good at it. Just not so much in space. Let's board the Petya in mid-space, you say. I agree, Field replies. But to capture the vampire, we must outwit him. One of us must volunteer to pose as his victim.
We're setting up a trap.
Vampires are only vulnerable right before they attack.
That would have been nice to know.
At the moment when their bloodlust reaches such an intensity that their powers of reasoning leave them.
When they're super horny for blood.
Been there.
You know, we all make stupid decisions when we're thinking with when we're hangry.
Yeah, you know, when we're thinking with our teeth.
And you kick them right in the teeth.
That's
And then again in the crotch.
That's going to be the way to do it. Kick them in the vampire balls.
just kick them in the vampire knot.
Look, they're vampires. It doesn't mean their penis just disappears.
I woke up and I'm like, oh, my penis is gone. Oh, this vampire deal is a bad deal.
And now I have to live with it forever.
What am I going to do without my penis? Oh, Barnard.
It's now the name of every vampire.
Oh, what was he saying? Oh, yeah. Intensity powers of reasoning leave them. That is why we must use human bait. Once again, Fields, eyes are on you.
Oh my god.
And so are those of the others. You realize that you've been given a challenge. The future of the United Planets may depend on your reply.
The UP.
If you volunteer to pose as the vampire's victim, turn to page 10. If you decide not to volunteer, turn to page 28.
Son of a
I
bitch,
think we
I'm
have
in.
to do it. Son of a bitch,
Son of a
I'm in.
bitch, I'm in.
You son of a bitch.
All right, we're gonna
Yeah.
go and be
Pose
in
as the victim. Like,
pose.
You-
oh no, a
You
scary
yellow?
vampire.
Oh, I'm so weak.
Oh no. I hope he
You
doesn't
chicken?
become...
Nobody
Instantly pass out.
calls me chicken.
I'll do it. Good.
You're like one of those goats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
When startled just passes out.
Yes. Look at the picture. We've been a goat this whole time.
We're space goats.
Space goats.
Space goat.
Coast
Space
to
goat.
coast. Space goats.
They call you Osprey because secretly Ospreys have a terrible sense of like they just pass out often. That's not true. And you eat fish ravenously.
I'll volunteer. You could hardly believe what you're saying. It's one thing to volunteer for a dangerous mission. That's expected of a Space Force officer.
Well, that's what this is.
But to agree to be the bait for a space vampire? You've got to be crazy. If you succeed, however, you'll be a hero. You'll be well on your way to commanding your own starship. Captain Field lays a hand on your shoulder. Osprey, you've taken a tough assignment, but I'm confident you'll succeed. He steps back and looks thoughtfully at you and your crewmates. Here's my plan. Osprey will pretend to be sleeping. Jack, Serena, and I will be hidden behind the computer banks on the port side of the bunk room. The captain pauses to take a breath. When the vampire is about to strike,
I'm sorry, I smoke a lot, sorry.
we will mobilize him in a force field and tie him up with Illyrium wire. Illyrium is the only material strong enough to withstand the superhuman power of a vampire.
It's weaved from unobtainium.
Yeah.
Can't we just shoot him?
Smythe asks.
Captain Field pulls out a pistol and shoots him in the head. Any other bright ideas?
How come you get kicked off the mission for making a reasonable decision, and then he just continues the mission with all these other goobers?
It's just...
But they weren't elite.
Yeah, they're not elite.
Oh, maybe you're the only elite one.
Elite.
You're held to a higher standard.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Everybody else is just gold standard.
Yeah, you got the two lightning bolts on your lapel that marks you as elite.
Oh boy.
That's not troublesome.
Wait a minute. With the baddies.
With the baddies, the skull and crossbones that marks you as elite. A troubled look comes over the captain's face. Wouldn't that be easy? He says. But if you've studied vampires, you know that they are very nearly immortal. Sometimes a vampire seems to be dead, but the spark of his supernatural life remains as soon restores the broken body. The only way to kill a vampire is expose him to the direct light of a sun no less bright than one that shines on Earth.
Why is Earth always the state of measurement?
the
They're
magic.
space vampires.
Right.
They have their own system.
Why would they go to Earth then? Like, well, let's not go to that one, the one that kills us.
Because human blood tastes so good.
Yeah, that was the reason.
Just lure us out into space.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what they've done.
Yeah.
Right into their clutches.
I'm Team Space Vampire right now.
Has been established. You know my position. Fuck the humans.
For a while, no one speaks. Any other questions?
Can we shoot him? We already got over that.
How about fire?
What should I do when the vampire comes towards me? You ask.
Pray.
The captain bites his lower lip before replying.
He's a vampire. Kill him.
Simply lie there and wait. When the vampire gets near you, almost on top of you, he will become overcome with lustful thirst.
Whoa.
And when he's at his most horny, then we seize him. He doesn't say most horny.
Solid plan.
Solid plan.
Again, it would be nice if we had some way to recreate ultraviolet light in some sort of portable system, but we just don't have the technology.
It's almost midnight. Midnight. You and the rest of the X2 team board the Petya a few hours earlier. You're in a low, narrow bunk with a thin blanket over you. You're pretending to sleep, but you've never been so wide awake in your life.
Well, the blanket will protect you from the monsters, though.
Also, it's not midnight because there's no daylight in space. God damn it.
Your bunk feels like a coffin. You lie there, sweating, wondering why you volunteered to be bait. How can you be sure Captain Field and the others will get the vampire before he gets you?
Those others seem like a real bunch of doofuses.
But Captain Field apparently has studied them, so.
Suddenly, you feel a presence in the room. You hear a footfall.
Oh, I'm just asleep.
You try to scream.
Tara takes
takes
a
a
sound
sound.
before you make
I've
it.
done this bit.
Darkness crawls across the land. All right. Then another. The vampire's moving closer. You try to scream. You long to scream
It's right there. Terror takes the sound.
before you make it. To leap out of your bunk and run. To lash out against him. Anything but what you must do, which is to lie completely still, pretending to sleep until the vampire arrives at the point of vulnerability when he's most horny. The moment when his bloodlust overwhelms him.
I am
The
one with the
vampires
Osprey. I am-
tiptoeing in. Ding, 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 ding.
I am one with the Osprey. The Osprey is one with me. I am the Osprey.
Even with your eyes closed, you can feel the darkness about you as his huge form hovers closer. And then you hear a gasp. A sound of frenzied anticipation as he lunges.
Whoa.
Super horny fan.
It was more like,
Oy, oy, oy.
Come on, baby.
Your body goes rigid.
So what it is.
Our sound engineer just gave you a look.
A force field has arrested all motion. The vampire hovers over you, struggling, pawing the air like an insect trapped in a spider's web. He shatters the air with a scream, but he cannot move. Captain Field deftly wraps Illyrium wire around the vampire's legs and arms. Osprey, take the first watch, the captain says. If the vampire tries to break loose, fire the stun gun at him. It will shake him enough to prevent him from breaking out of the Illyrium bonds.
Can't we just keep the force field on him, or?
well, if we already have it tied up, put him out the airlock.
Yeah.
He works for
I bet
Wayland.
they want to capture him.
He works
Yeah.
for Wayland Industries. He's using a weapon.
Trussed up by Illyrium wires, the vampire stands helplessly before you. His face seems even whiter than before. His huge eyes, black as coals, are so penetrating that they could paralyze anyone who dared to stare at them.
You stare at them.
You black out. But his eyes are closed as he stands waiting for his death. The Petya is streaking toward the sun. In a few hours, the ship will be inside Earth's orbit. Then the vampire will be led to the forward control room, the sun filters will be raised, and the full force of daylight will bring his almost immortal life to an end. Only then can he be safely buried in space.
Just tow him outside for the vacuum of space.
For until a vampire is killed by bright sunlight, there is always a chance the atoms of his body will reassemble,
I'm sorry, what?
and he will live again to terrorize the world.
No. Nope. No. I refuse to
That's
accept this
fine.
premise.
To have captured and truly killed a vampire is a great feat for which you and the rest of the crew will be richly rewarded. And yet, as you stand looking at this odious creature, you can't help but feel a tinge of pity.
Elliot.
And of course, you're curious about him.
No.
You read about vampires during your years at the academy. No, you didn't.
We
No,
just
no,
found
you
out
didn't.
about them.
Part of your space training.
You
What about the whole thing
definitely
with
did
them? Was like,
not.
Hey, you ever heard of Space Vampire? you ever heard of Space Vampire?
I
I'm
mean,
disappointed at Packard right now.
Sure, I learned about lunar werewolves, Martian Frankensteins.
Yeah,
but
those don't exist, but
definitely space vampires.
Space Vampires.
We've all heard of the Bigfoot of Neptune, but this.
But most experts hold that vampires do not really exist. How wrong they are. Now that one is actually standing before you, you want very much to question him. Yet you know that vampires have very strong personalities. They can be hypnotic. It could be dangerous talking to a space vampire, even when he's bound in Illyrium chains.
You can even. So you're a vampire, huh?
If you talk to the vampire, turn to page 62.
Do not talk to the vampire.
If you avoid talking to him, Turn to page 53.
Do not talk to
No.
that goddamn vampire.
I want to talk to
You
him.
want to talk
You
to
guys
him?
don't want to talk to the vampire.
No.
Because he's going to seduce us.
Yes.
That's why. It's just.
I do. I want to have a positive. I want us to win for once. But
But yeah,
that's
I
the trick.
agree.
All right,
should-
you want us to
should.
win?
That's
Okay.
the safe venture, though. That might
We'll do the
reverse
safe
psychology.
thing and find out what happens when we don't talk to the sexy space vampire that we caught by getting him horny for our blood. After this quick word from our sponsors.
SexyHackers.com.
Today's episode of Turn to Page Fun is brought to you by Space Force. Hey kids, I'm Agent Osprey. Do you
Hi, everyone. I'm a space doctor. Do you have a problem blacking out on almost everything? Are you like one of those blackout goats that just drops at the minute of any kind of danger? Well, I hate to tell you, but you probably have a neurological disorder, and you really shouldn't be in the Space Force. You see, space has a lot of external pressures going on the brain a lot, and when you black out too much, it hurts your brain. It makes you dumber. And it makes your brain not work as good. So please, just get out of the Space Force already.
No, that's good. I'm fine.
That's right. Go see a doctor. Stop blacking out in space. Space Doctor, brought to you by Unaffordable Healthcare.
SexyHackers.com.
And we are back to Turn to Page Fun, the only podcast where yada yada yada. We are. Yep, that's exactly what happens.
The only podcast with vampires in space.
With vampires and space. We are currently reading Space Vampire by Edward Packard. We are Codename Secret Agent, Codename Osprey, who can't not black out. And we just graduated the Space Force Academy on elite status. We were top of our class, so we were sent on a mission to capture a space vampire, which we did.
We were successful.
We were very successful
Because
capturing
we were the bait.
the space vampire as the bait. But then after being the bait, we were also put directly in charge of watching the space vampire. So as we were watching the space vampire, we were just looking at it and be like, wow, it'd be really neat to talk to the space vampire. But we all decided not to
because he's gonna.
because we were afraid that he would seduce us.
And it would
with-
probably be really easy, too. It's like, why don't you get these chains off me? Sure.
So we're going to see what happens when we just stare at the space vampire as we're headed towards Earth's yellow sun that will destroy it.
Only thing that can destroy a space vampire.
The only thing that can destroy a space vampire is the rays of the sun in as powerful as you would get them on Earth.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
So you have to be as Earth or closer with the sun to kill a space vampire. Sure. It makes no sense. All right.
Oh, no. If you get closer, it just makes them stronger.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Goldilocks
It's
thing.
the
You gotta
Goldilocks
get right to
zone
Earth.
of murdering space vampires.
Apparently.
Neil deGrasse Tyson did a whole episode of Cosmos on it. If you did, it would be too dangerous to talk to the vampire, you decide. You take care to avoid even looking at him lest you fall under his spell. A couple hours later, the captain arrives with Jack and Serena. You help carry the odious creature to the control room. He neither struggles nor complains. His spirit seems broken.
Good.
The captain is anxious to complete the deed quickly. Perhaps he's afraid of being brought under the vampire's spell. He presses a button and releases the filters. The full light of the sun floods the compartment. You blink and squint at the dazzling light, but the effect on the vampire is far more grave. Like some great animal felled by a spear or harpoon, he lets forth a piteous moan, and then, while you watch in horror, he shrivels into sheer nothingness. We've defeated the vampire, the captain says softly.
Who's got the beer bong?
You and the others only nod, for none of you feels like cheering or clapping.
You just killed a vampire.
Who is the real monster? Us.
Turns out it's man. You've done what you had to do. You'll earn your medals and the thanks of all on Earth.
Fan about killing a space vampire.
But as if you had killed a dangerous tiger or a magnificent snake.
What?
There's something sad about what you've done. The end.
All right. The space vampire killed everyone on the Petya, and
there's
we
more of
feel bad for it? Fuck you! Fuck you!
This is the rare and endangered space vampire.
Endangered space. Who is the real monster?
The space vampire.
Yes, definitely the
Oh
space
my
vampire.
god!
Welcome back to Planet 5.
What a
I'm David
condescending ending.
It should have been the best ending, and they just made it bad.
Yeah, made
Yeah.
us feel bad about it.
Oh, don't you feel like a piece of shit for killing a living thing, don't you?
The Vampire Conservation Society is going to be on our ass for weeks
Oh my
now.
gosh.
Do we have time to see what happens if we just talk
talk
to
to
him?
the vampire?
I think
All right,
we should
let's
definitely
talk to
this
him.
vampire.
Okay, apparently, that's what we're supposed to do: is talk to the vampire and feel even worse for
We're
it.
just sitting at home watching documentaries about space vampires, like the rare and beautiful space vampire. See,
Often misunderstood by Space Force.
by Space Force and the people that it murders with its fangs. So we've decided to talk to the space vampire.
Yes, all right.
Tell me about yourself, you say to the vampire,
He lights a cigarette.
but he only shakes his head.
Oh,
You move closer to him. The vampire ignores you, keeping his eyelids shut. You wonder what he is feeling, how many years he has lived. Tell me, you ask gently, where do you come from? Slowly, the vampire opens his eyes. He regards you with such a piteous look that you are almost moved to undo his bonds, but you shrink back a step, remembering that this unholy creature has murdered thousands of innocent people.
Yes.
yeah, kind of important.
No,
to
we did
keep
not
in
forget
mind.
that.
I come from the 5th planet of the star Ekbar.
He says haltingly, as if the effort of speaking were painful to him.
It is the planet of the vampires. No humans live there, nor any animals. Only millions of vampires.
What do they eat?
Yeah.
We do not need animals or people.
Oh.
The ocean is made of blood.
Okay.
Then why leave?
All right, so
Is human blood really that
But it
tasty?
tastes like
Yeah,
shit. It's
because they only
shitty
have
tasting
one
blood.
flavor.
Sometimes you want the blue raspberry.
you gasp at the news. How many vampires have you visited in our solar system? The vampire presses his lower lip
One.
between his silvery teeth.
I am the only one left. The others have died in the light of the sun.
Do not Last of the Mohicans, the shit vampire.
The earth is not the good place for vampires.
Oh, fuck off.
We should never have left home.
A
Yeah.
single tear trickles down his cheek.
Do not. God, is it blood?
You're astounded. Never having imagined that these evil creatures could have such a human emotion.
They don't.
Yeah.
Yet the thought of a whole planet teeming with vampires bothers you.
Yeah.
Like blood. If there's no animals, how is there oceans of blood?
Right, what is
Like
it?
what makes the
Primordial?
blood ocean?
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Will the other vampires set out for the Earth? You ask. The vampire nods. A very slight nod, as he had no interest in your question.
Boo.
Little kid. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Stupid super solar system.
Canopians.
Stupid sun.
Canopians are gonna kill you all anyway.
Eventually, like a millennia or something.
For the first time, the vampire looks you in the eye.
Oh.
The other vampires will come. They want to see Earth, for they believe it is a lush planet. They do not know that on Earth they can never show themselves in daylight.
The vampire's voice rises as he speaks. He seems overwhelmed by emotion.
They will come, he sobs. They will come unless I warn them.
Okay, then warn them.
You must warn them. The words spell out of your mouth without you are even thinking about them.
Up where we belong, where the ospreys fly on a mountain high.
Where we belong.
The vampire shakes his head.
By the time I get there, it will probably be too late.
But maybe not.
The chance is.
As the vampire talks, his voice trails off. You lean closer, You can't hear the rest of what he says.
You're the dumbest person in this reality.
Perhaps his strength is leaving him because your spaceship is getting closer to the sun.
Well, I better untie you so you'll feel better.
You lean even closer to try to hear what the vampire is saying. Turn to page 54.
Say we do it. We deserve it.
You go tell the captain what the vampire said. Turn to page 69. You continue to stand guard. Turn to page 38.
Oh, it's three of them.
Triple choice. I feel like the cops are just going to be like, what? Yeah, he says he's from, like, he wants to stop the other vampires from
Shut
coming.
the fuck up. You're also going to get killed for this.
Are you kidding me? It's a goddamn vampire.
So wait, what are
All right,
we
we're going to
asking?
go back to Delta Base because you're off this mission. Then we'll kill the vampire.
So you can lean closer to hear what the vampire is saying because he's like, oh, my friends are.
I'll be right here in your blood. Yeah.
You can go tell the captain,
Or just chill out here.
or you can continue to stand guard.
I think we're supposed to continue to stand guard.
Well, we're too stupid to stand guard because we're falling for this bullshit
I
from
do
the
kinda
vampire.
you want to lean in close
Just want to lean
to
in
bite our face.
because we deserve it at this point. I don't want to deal with the captain anymore.
No.
I don't
So
think
either-
we should leave.
We don't like Rickfield?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's
Or lean on in.
So we wanna lean
We're
on in?
clearly idiots, so we might as well just lean in.
All right.
lean into it.
Lean into it, yeah.
Let's finish this.
Literally lean into
Oh,
it.
that's great.
Oh, that drawing's amazing.
Oh, I'm gonna see this.
Though your ear is still almost a foot away from his mouth, and the vampire is secretly bound, securely bound with Illyrium wire, his athletic ability is far greater than you realize. In a flash, he stretches his neck farther than any human could. His mouth strikes with the speed of a cobra. His long, curved teeth sink into your neck. You struggle a moment, like a rabbit seized by a hawk or an osprey. Then fall limp as the vampire eagerly drains your blood.
And you black out.
Wow.
Your last act is to give a little cry as the vampire, his strength redoubled by food, breaks his bonds. The captain and the rest of the crew will be his next victims.
Yeah. Okay.
And soon, he will be on Earth, feasting at will.
Until daylight.
Until daylight.
Or it's a vampire hunter kills him.
The end. So what we thought was going to happen is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Except for this hilarious picture.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
That's quite a.
So
Like-
so there's you. It's a picture of you being attacked. You're not even like leaning in close to him. You're actually just kind of looking away and investigating
Looking into your hand for
You're
something.
looking at your finger. You're like looking at your fingernails.
You're all like nonchalant.
What's going on? Oh, I should probably clip my nails. And then the vampire
just
is
goes-
stooping down, and his neck is now like a long snaky neck.
It's like Mr. Fantastic all of a sudden,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
from the
You
Fantastic
know,
Four.
like a Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
Vamp
and
in the Box.
And he's
It's like
and he's
3 times longer than it
That's
should.
awesome.
yeah. And then there he is, happy and gonna.
I just like all these pictures of the vampire like securely tied up. He's standing up.
Yeah, he could just hop at you or
Why is he just like crumpled on the ground?
or
Like,
leave
he's
him in
just
that
standing-
force field that we had him in. Oh well, we did think that would happen.
All right, so let's.
He deserved it.
Yeah, we
You
deserve
wanna,
that.
you wanna go out on that?
No,
Nah, stand guard.
let's stand guard.
Stand
All
guard.
right.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, yeah, we're in the end game now.
We're in the end game.
You stand fast, determined to follow the captain's orders
Fast standing.
and not let yourself be tricked by the vampire. The minutes go by. The others will arrive as soon. The others will arrive soon to take the vampire to the control room. You have performed very well, the vampire says in a firm, clear voice.
Thanks.
Another trick,
You black
you
out.
think. And say nothing. You have defeated me. You have a great future in the Space Force, he continues.
Thank you.
More of the same, you think. Still saying nothing. I am about to die, and I have only one thing I can leave behind, the vampire says softly.
My baby.
I shall leave it to you. It is a bit of knowledge. You dare not look into the vampire's eyes, but you're curious.
He informs you that a tomato is actually a fruit.
You're too curious to resist asking. What's the knowledge?
You're gonna die.
As you speak, you hear your crewmates approaching. The vampire does not reply. The captain snaps delirium thongs onto his legs. As you and the others carry the helpless creature toward the control room, you whisper in his ear, "What knowledge?"
Hail Hydra.
The vampire remains silent. Soon, you are all assembled in the control room. The captain moves to the sun filter switch. In a few moments, the room will be flooded with brilliant sunlight, and the vampire will die. You look directly into the vampire's cold, black eyes. At last, he responds. So long as you deny their existence, so long as you refuse to believe in them, no vampires shall ever touch you. The sun shines in, and he is no more. The end.
What? If we don't believe in vampires,
Yeah,
they
if you don't
can't?
believe in vampires, they can't hurt you.
I'm not seeing you. I'm not seeing you.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
I'm disappointed that the garlic never came in.
Yeah, well.
And we
Why did they give us
never
a
got to
pocket
meet
full of
Steve.
garlic? Oh,
Yes, we Steve.
So there's a lot.
And the
Yeah, there's a lot.
cornucopians or whatever their name was.
cornucopian.
We bring you horns of plenty. Destroy them. Pew, pew, pew.
So that was that was
That's a weird
that was
fucking
Space
It's
Vampire.
like a mind like
What
what
is with,
does that mean?
What's with these last minute turnarounds that we're supposed to feel bad for the vampires that killed all these people?
The love you take is equal to the love you make.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
Don't cry for me, Osprey.
There is another Osprey.
What a weird
And before the vampire died, he said, "For Frodo."
You're the vampire now, dog.
All right, so I'm just noticed something about this book. On the cover, it says more challenging choices. So
No.
is this like the updated version of Space Vampire?
I don't know. Maybe
Is there a reprint? Maybe.
maybe it's a reprint. Who knows? Well, that was Space Vampire.
Yeah.
by Edward Packard.
By Edward Packard.
We reviewed some of the book, but there are we got to maybe about like I don't know 8 endings.
Yeah.
Pretty many.
A third. But that's
Yeah,
but a
yeah.
third.
But there are 24 endings in this book, so feel free to go ahead and find it, check it out at your local library, or purchase it wherever you can purchase books of this kind, and enjoy it yourself at home with your friends. So that is the book that we have read so far. Ron,
Yes.
what did you think of this book?
It started real fun.
Yeah.
But those endings, I didn't like the turnaround where we had to feel bad for the vampires. Like the whole story is just establishing how bad the vampires are, how many people they've killed, how if they get to Earth they could just destroy the human race, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, fuck you for wanting to kill them, you murdering piece of shit.
You were the vampire all along.
Yeah. So, on a scale from K1 to K10, what would you give this book?
I'm gonna give this a K5.
K5. All right.
Because like it's still, it's like middle of the road. It did start out really fun. Just had a bummer endings that just felt completely opposite of the tone that was established.
Okay. Brian,
Yes.
what did you think of this book? On a scale of doofy idiot Space Force member and elite Space Force member, what would you give this book?
I'm gonna give it a advanced mediocrity Space Force member because I was excited. I did just at least internally giggle every time we just said Space Vampire because Space Vampire. But I don't know, there's so many weird contradictions and all this information about there's only one way to stop a space vampire when he's really horny. That came up out of nowhere. We had no the information was very mixed. It didn't seem clear how we learned about space vampires. I would have liked more internal logic to a book about space vampires.
Yeah, there's no real internal logic in this book about what are the rules for space vampires.
That would have been nice.
No, we kept jumping back and forth from
Right.
didn't know they existed, knew nothing about them to we know everything
Everyone
about them,
is
and
just
they are
like-
totes real.
Everyone is totally aware of it. And I do agree we should not be made to feel bad for killing the space vampire. They took that from us.
Agent Osprey, there's space vampires are real. What? Yeah, there's just don't tell anybody.
Good job on the space vampires.
Hey, good job on the space vampires.
Now let me tell you about space wizards. Yeah, that's my score, and I'm
You're a
sticking to it.
space wizard, Osprey.
He did kind of tell us that in the end, right?
So what? That is the dumbest thing.
You are the chosen one.
Long as you don't believe in me, I can't hurt you.
Well, that's pointless because
You're
how are you not
standing
going to
right
believe in a
in front-
space vampire
Yeah.
when a space vampire is about to bite you?
You know, like as then the vampire was dying, he's like, God, that was a stupid thing. Why did I say that? It made no sense. I'm an idiot. Why did I say that?
Wait, let me try again.
It's not true. It was his last psychological.
Oh yeah, it was.
dig,
It was.
so that you stand
Fake
there
out.
like, I don't believe in space vampires, and the space vampires just eat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Or Osprey just goes, that guy's full of shit.
All right, Stacy, finally, what did you think of this book?
I really want to give this book a rating of a K9 because I like the robot dog.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, Doctor Who reference. I will give this book a 9 based on the title alone because Space Vampire is just so
It
funny.
is right away.
It did have.
off
I
the
mean,
bat.
it did have some stupid endings, but I enjoyed it. I liked everything. Yeah, I don't understand why the sun filtering through Earth's atmosphere is what
the
like
only.
instead of the pure sunlight outside of the atmosphere, you should think would be much stronger and
Right.
instantly kill a vampire. No, it has to be on Earth.
Because it's
It
dumb.
doesn't make any sense.
It's dumb rules.
No, it makes no sense. But I did really enjoy the book.
Yeah.
It was a fun read.
And then I'm going to give this book a negative acceleration.
I can say from pigeon to osprey.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Yes, it is. You want this book because it's called Space Vampire, and it delivers a space vampire. But it is not. It almost.
It's like the
hamstrings
potential-
itself.
Yeah, there's potential
Because
and it
there's
doesn't, like-
nothing that could be inside this book that can live up to the potential of idiocy and ridiculousness that
true.
a book called Space Vampire promises. So
Yeah.
it's so it is unfortunately a little bit of a letdown, but I don't think how anything can possibly be not a letdown from the title Space
That's just too high of a bar.
Vampire.
Yeah,
It's just
he set himself up.
way too high of a bar.
One of those
Shangri-La.
endings is going to be amazing, though. There's like
Yeah.
a perfect
Yeah.
ending
I
in
know-
there that we.
you know
can
what
get
else?
Well, there was
With the
actually a
garlic.
really good ending where you turned into the moonwalking space vampire.
Right, that was
Yeah,
very
It
that
was a pretty good ending.
Also, we always get teased with Steve, but we never get to meet Steve.
We never meet Steve.
in any of the Edward Packard verses.
Yeah.
So
Steve
far.
is that
Steve.
unattainable goal that's
Steve is the
always just
vampire
right
goal.
out of reach.
Yeah,
Right.
like the space
Steve is a
vampire.
metaphor for a lot of things in everyone's life.
Yeah.
So that's our thoughts on Space Vampire. If you have a chance to go through the book yourself, feel free to like and follow us on your favorite podcaster. Feel free to actually like and follow us at sexyhackers.tv. That is your one stop for all of the Sexy Hackers media. That includes us, Turn to Page Fun, and Who Let Me Read This, which is another book review podcast, which is really, really fun. And All Arcadians, which is an original scripted adventure podcast, as well as No Dice, which is a streaming D&D improvise live Twitch stream where we do improvise D&D. We do all the fun stuff about D&D with the characters and the adventure without all the boring numbers and math and rolling dice itself.
And there's singing and music.
There's always so much singing.
There is.
There's so much singing.
Guy with a piano.
And the coolest thing with that is because it is Twitch, you can interact directly with us in real time, and the more you do, the more fun it is. So you can go ahead and go to sexyhackers.tv to find that as well, and that goes every Monday at 7:30. But please...
Oh, Central. Yes,
Central
7:30
time.
Central.
That's right, Central time. 7:30 Central time, which would be 8:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Mountain time, and 5:30 Pacific time.
in midnight space time.
And midnight space time, because in space it's always midnight.
That's should be a line for something.
Should be a line for the movie Space Vampire coming out this fall. By Sony Pictures.
Now, Nick, if I go to sexyhackers.tv and I see all these fancy logos for the Sexy Hacker kind of website, and I think, well, you know what? I'd like some sort of garment that would advertise this company and be entertaining and cool.
Well, you know, Brian, Sexy Hackers also sells T-shirts. Yeah, which has the logos for all of the shows on them, as well as plenty of other very, very fun nerd logos.
I'm wearing them.
Oh, wow.
We all are.
We all
Get
are.
a post-production effect that was just like a glitter that just flies past me. Whoa!
That's right. You can go to Sexy Hackers and get T-shirts. They're great for yourself or for a friend. Buy them for a friend. Share the gift of a comfortable T-shirt, because these are very comfortable T-shirts. They fit oh so well. They are oh so comfortable and efficacious. So please go ahead, check out. And if you go to Sexy Hackers at checkout, go ahead and just type in the promo code FUN, F-U-N. Fun for fun. And you're going to go ahead and get 20% off of your purchase. That is not chump change.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That's a
good
significant
stuff.
chunk. So one last time, feel free to shoot us a message, follow us, subscribe,
You can
do all those cool things.
Comment in the YouTube channel. Our
Yes.
YouTube channel. And yeah, say hello. Tell your friends if you're enjoying this. Subscribe and like and I think you can write a review on
Apple Podcasts.
On
Yes.
Apple Podcasts. That
On Apple
helps.
Podcasts,
you
you
can.
can write a review. If you want a review, please write us a review, and that'll help more people get to share this with you.
A
So
good
like
review.
when you go to work
Yeah.
on Tuesday morning and be like, oh man, that episode of Turn to Page Fun, people won't think you're an idiot.
Right.
Because they'll know what you're talking about.
Right.
So thank you so much to Mr. Brian Bear for being
Thank
here.
you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
And,
What else is going on?
Oh, I don't know. It's near the end of
the end of January. Yeah,
And it's
okay.
just happy birthday again, Mom. I guess that's
Happy birthday.
February's coming up,
Everybody
and
wish Brian's mom happy birthday.
She's a nice lady.
She's a nice lady. Not like the meanest person I know right next to me, Miss Stacy Pawloski.
That's me.
That's your resolution, though, right? To not be?
That was a lie.
Oh, right.
I
That
already
was a mean
established that
trick
was a
she
lie.
pulled.
See, you tricked me, too. Damn it.
Stacey, anything else?
I don't know yet. We covered it all.
Sounds good. And Mr. Ron Swanson.
Yes, nothing really for me. Just starting off this new year.
All right. What about
Yeah.
your blog?
Yes, go to revronmovies.blogspot.com. I write movie reviews and have movie-based short stories and all kinds of stuff.
All right. And Leslie, thank you again so much to Sexy Hacker Studio for giving us this wonderful space to bring this podcast to you. Thank you to Jason for being here today, making sure we don't sound stupid. I'll make a dad joke about that. And thank you most importantly to you for being you, listening to us read to you. And with that, I will see you next time. 3 years.
SexyHackers.com! Stream Team!